Good morning, my friends. I'm Leslie Flowers, and I'm so excited that you're here for Mind Over Matter Mondays. And today is the last Monday in January of 2026. Isn't that amazing that we're all here and we're all breathing? I'm really thrilled you're here. We've got a super topic and guest today, Felipe Cofiño. We're looking at how accountability to ourselves and with another can be a real game changer in many, many different ways. And that beautiful intro and what you'll see as an outro was created by Aaron Gibson, Soul Media Live Productions. So if you're thinking about having a show or you have one and you want a beautiful intro to up-level your show a bit, if you're ready for that, you might want to check with Aaron Gibson at Soul Media Live Productions. And our special sponsor each week for Mind Over Matter Mondays is Mr. Stanley Green, President and CEO of Power Thinking Corp, a CBT-based personal development program, which works beautifully in Mind Over Matter Monday. So as you come in, I'm thrilled to see you. Get your coffee, get comfy, and I will sing a song for you. For likely today is one of the most powerful days astrologically that we've had since 1860. And we won't see a day like this for another 16 years. So whether you like astrology or don't, remember that Plato and Socrates and all those dudes talked an awful lot about the play and the vibration between planets. So it's another resource. It's another way to become clear about what's going on. So I'm excited you're here. And here's the song. This is how I feel every Monday. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I? Boy, that's a context, isn't it? And I had to clear my throat the whole time, so not my best performance, but thanks for being here, everybody, and letting me get to do the thing that I've been doing since I was about 12. And now I just do it all the time. I sing whenever I can. So let's say hello to everybody. I'm excited, and I can't wait to bring Felipe up, and many of you know him. So I do want to say hello to each one of you, because the fact that you're here means a lot to me. As you know, I do very little of anything about sales. And so in Mind Over Matter Mondays, when we have guest teachers like Felipe and like so many of you, the idea is to highlight you and the services you provide. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't provide services. It just means that I'm tired of a lifetime of selling. And I'm fortunate enough and blessed where I live fairly meagerly and happily and don't have to worry about that. But it took a lifetime to get there. So it can happen. And so therefore, this is your platform in so many ways. And so we will say good morning to the wonderful Jackie Hallberg. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that you can be here. I know you have a busy schedule, but you might be snowed in. I don't know, but certainly tonight at 9 p.m., we will all tune in Eastern for Just Jacks and guests. That's her weekly show. And Jackie does many, many things, but that's the one live show that you can always count on each week. So thanks for being here, Jackie. And we also have 𝗍𝗍𝗿 coming in from YouTube. Sometimes LinkedIn doesn't do as well. People are more comfortable here. Over there, I put the link in the comments just in case. And Lay is out on the West Coast. She's been a friend for at least 10 years. And she's a digital master with videography. So please follow everybody that's in this group and eventually connect, because you are the people that thrive and are hungry and thirsty for new ways of thinking, to expand your horizons. Right? We all have infinite potential. The only thing that's missing is our willingness to try on new information that we didn't know. So there's William Rochelle. Hi, William. You can call him Bill if you get to know him. And Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m., UBU Live. He has a very innovative show, does his own intros, which are wild and wonderful. He has held CEO positions and C-levels, but you wouldn't know that necessarily unless I just told you. So he's an everyday kind of guy with a tremendous amount of skill and qualities of leadership. I'm so happy to know you. You're a new friend. Let's see what Jackie says here. Yes, yes. I'm so glad you could make it too. And there's wonderful Adrian. Hi, Adrian Gergich. She's up in New York. And Adrian works in the digital data entry arena. She's a lover of poetry. I think it's the perfect balance. And thank you, Adrian, for always supporting this show week after week. And my intention is that you all get really good value. And you start out the week and end it also with thinking in new ways. You know, children love learning because that's their nature. We do too. But over our lifetime, we develop some fears, which we should. It's part of the paradox of life. But you can overcome those fears with this kind of work. It takes a while, but you can do it. And that's what we do each week. So Leanna Stock is here. Hi, she's calling in from Duluth. It's always cold there, Duluth, Minnesota, right? In the winter anyway. And Leanna is a specialist in diabetes, but I'm really thinking about the pictures that she posts from her backyard of the most amazing lake and the skies. And sometimes she gets wild animals that she gets a picture of. So on LinkedIn, it's fun sometimes to move from content and give yourself a break, one side of your brain, a break, and watch some beautiful imagery. There's Stephen Ang. Stephen's up in New York. Gosh. And Stephen is our book guy, our library guy. He is the expert in keeping up with what's going on in the book industry, right? And in bookstores, and not only self-publishing, but in the in the other publishing world, which used to dominate and is still available. You can participate in that if you have plenty of money as a tool to buy in, right? But you don't have to anymore. And there are ways to get around it, but it will cost you more to go the traditional route. And Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong. And thank you for being here, my friend. I hope you're staying warm too, because pictures out of New York are wild for the snow. And hello, Sean. Nice to meet you. I think you're a new friend. I hope you enjoy the show today. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes. For those of you who wonder who I am, I'm Leslie Flowers, and I have done leadership and personal development for the last 25 years after a 40-year career in corporate, working with startups, liaising between the investors and the C-level executives for new businesses, and also looking over all documentation. So that's my specialty. I'm a gold standard line editor, which comes in handy in a lot of ways. I have results, lots of results over the last 18 years with my program, which is based in Think and Grow Rich, personal development, universal laws, quantum physics, metaphysics. I just love all that stuff. So Sean, thank you for being here. Let's see here. There's Christy D. Williams, customer service rep. Hi, Christy. Christy and I and Jackie and Nicole are all part of the 2350 network. And I believe Felipe is too. Yeah. They've got a big event coming up in March, the workplace virtual wellness. Is that workplace? No, virtual wellness experience, VWE. That is a personal development platform off of LinkedIn, and the only one I participate in, because I love being here on LinkedIn with all you thought leaders and all the rich content. Okay, so let me see who else is here. Meryl Cass is here. Hi, Meryl. Meryl's up in Paramus, New Jersey. Massive snowstorm where over a foot of snow accumulated with a half-inch of ice as frosting on the winter cake. So thank you, Meryl. If you don't know Meryl, most of us do. He helps get the word out about valuable lives. So he's in several direct message groups. And if you just follow him, you will see what he does and you'll be able to catch the best lives. Thank you for always being there and supporting all of our live shows. Yes, I see Felipe is here. He's having his coffee now, petting the dog and taking a breath, but he is watching and he is paying attention. All right, let's see who else is here. Hello, Coach Carrie, a new friend. I'm so glad you're here. If your shows are every week at the same time, reach out to me. If they're live on LinkedIn, I'll be glad to add you to the weekly carousel, which comes out every Monday morning and highlights wonderful shows every day of the week on LinkedIn. And also they broadcast on YouTube, and we are broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, not me, but other people do. All right. And the wonderful Lisa Fevick is here. We're almost there, folks. You might wonder why I do this. Well, I do this because I live alone. And it occurred to me that a lot of people since COVID are by themselves and not as social. And that maybe nobody sees them. I will tell you, this is who you are for me. It also helps me practice looking for the good in everybody. Everybody has good. And when I tell you how you show up for me in such a beautiful way, it does something for you, but it also expands my own muscle of greatness. Because now when I think of all of you, that's all I see. You know, you might have on 2 different color socks, but I wouldn't see that. The first thing I see is greatness, and you have to train yourself to do that. This is one of the ways. Plus, you're acknowledged when you say something wonderful about me, or that I said something that really touched you, it's always so much better than me telling myself. So I think you get that. Absolutely. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Melissa Houston is here. Awesome. And when we're talking about the carousels, it was Melissa who, the weekly carousels that I put out, who called him the TV guide of LinkedIn. And really, I started that, you guys, because I was having a hard time keeping up with everything. So as an old admin, right, first thing I did was made a schedule so I could stay on LinkedIn and save my time and go to really high value events. And then it just kind of took off like a grassroots. I think this is the third year. Yes, this is the third year. Okay, we got someone in that says hi from YouTube. Let's say hello to this new person. Hi, glad you're here. Is that a 49ers jersey? I hope I see, although they're not playing this weekend or next weekend. Islam Gouda is here, wonderful marketing master, award winner, and good friend. And here is 𝗃𝗍𝗍. Hello, 𝗃𝗍𝗍. So glad you're here. I'm Leslie Flowers. If you didn't catch my name, this is Mind Over Matter Mondays, where we talk about mindset and the different angles of the same concept so that you can resonate with the guest teacher that works for you. And let's see who else we have here. Leanna, we've got Leanna, we got Samina. All right. So we're pretty good. Oh, there's Bobby Lee Clark. Hi, Bobby Lee. Thursdays at noon, he has a money live event, and it's new. And he also does this with his partner, or a partner, collaboration partner, Connor or Trevor. I can't remember whether he's Trevor Connor or Connor Trevor, but you can correct me. All right, and there's Felipe is there, and I'm just double checking everything so we can get in here. All right, so allow me to remove someone. There we go. I love that they do that. Okay. When someone says something ugly, I can just send them on their way. Yay. Melissa, glad you're here. I'm so glad your schedule worked out. I hope you're not in snow. And here is Ashif Haji. Ashif is in Toronto. Ashif sends the most amazing, simple quotes with beautiful images. Another way to relax your mind, especially when you're focused on creating content. And there is our wonderful sponsor, Stanley Green, President and CEO of Power Thinking Corp, of which I'm a part, and which really interlaces beautifully with everything we've been doing here in Mind Over Matter Mondays. So, and he has a special offer I'll tell you about later for you. All right. Oh, there's Sean Michael. Hi, Sean Michael. Sean is at noon, Monday Mind Shift, and he is also a guest teacher here. Thank you for being here. I know you're preparing for your own show at noon, and I encourage everybody to connect with Sean Michael and go grab his event at noon. They're always great events. All right. Sharon Rose Winfield is here. Hi, Sharon Rose. She's the Gita girl. Gratitude is the attitude. So you'll see her hashtag Gita. Very well versed in personal development. And she and I wrote in a book together a letter to my family, which is an anthology that Nicole Angay Galindo published with Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing House. Letters to our family about our legacy. And so we got to know each other in a whole new way. All right, let me just make sure I don't. And thank you for all your wonderful comments. Oh, thanks, Melissa. Listen, I feature it every week. So if you don't download it, all you really have to do is go to my page, go down about, a third of a way, and you'll see it's right there. And this week we're in an airplane. You can hear the wind blowing. I'm getting better at Canva and all those wonderful things. So let's just see what Stephen said. To add one important thing about traditional publishing, Traditional publishers do not take money from authors. Instead, they pay you, the author, for the right to license your book, print, distribute, sell it, etc., and then share the profits. People think they take money from the authors because they demand a huge portion of the profits. That said, profit sharing is supposed to be agreed upon and outlined in book contracts with the authors. Thank you for that, Stephen. Thank you so much. I'm glad I mentioned it because you really clarified that. There's Christine Feedy. We're really getting close. I got about 3 minutes. Hi, Queen Christine Feedy, warrior woman. She can paint herself into a corner and come out smelling like a rose. Connect with her. I've missed seeing you, my friend. I really have, but I'm glad I see you now and then. It's good. And there's Sajid Kumar. He's from Toronto. He's a recruiter. Will keep you up to date on what's going on in the human resources industry. He also puts out great content that is a wonderful overview of what's going on so that the average person can understand it, whether you're in the market or not. It's important when you have clients to keep up with the industries that are important to them and the news that's important to them. All right. I just want to double check here. We don't have any. All right. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Now, yay. I get to bring up my friend. Oh, let me put you back where you belong here. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. All right, everybody. I'm bringing up the man. And I'm going to tell you all about this wonderful person while he listens with his wonderful smile. Welcome, Felipe.
Thank you.
You
are
good. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. So let me share a couple of things. If you don't know Felipe, he is a LinkedIn top voice, and his work is emphasizing the human in HR. And he's also a friend. And this is a friend who comes here to share during his Monday morning. So thank you for that, Felipe. Felipe is a strategic and people-first HR leader, and he has 30 years of experience across all sorts of HR operation, organizational culture, talent branding, employee training and development. Absolutely. Why would he be here as a guest teacher? He's done benefits, recruiting, so all sorts of aspects of human resources. A wonderful asset to anybody's team. In fact, really excellent work. Now, he's also known as a live event host for 2 ongoing biweekly events, which I'll have him share with you, which is the Workplace Wellness Hour and Careers, Chaos, and Coaching. He's also an international best-selling author, and he's well known as a business coach and for his Felipe 5, which we get to see today. Okay, Felipe, how did I do?
You did awesome. That was a wonderful introduction. I feel very humbled and honored to be here, Leslie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And this is our subject. Let me bring this up right now. We'll see how that works. Okay, I guess I have to do this. Well, add to stage. There we go. There you are. There you are. Okay. So the part of the reason we do guest teachers is because, because you may want to work with these teachers. And so will you resonate with their style, with their vibe? Are they the ones for you? We don't really know until we get to know a little bit about them. So in that light, I would like you, Felipe, to tell us what we're looking at here. I think I'll make us a little bit smaller so they can see this a little bit bigger.
Sure. Well, what you're looking at right there is a project that I had thought of 20 years ago. It was a book, a story that happened with my daughter when she was young and went out into the backyard and had this amazing story of what happened using her imagination as to what she did with the backyard, meeting animals, getting lost. And I thought that would be a great story one day. And fast forward 20, 25 years later, I'm not a writer, never thought myself as a writer. And Nicole, our publisher, she got me into writing a chapter. She sucked me in little by little. Write a chapter about LinkedIn. You love LinkedIn. Like, all right, I could write a chapter about LinkedIn. And then, hey, why don't you write a chapter about your family? Oh, well, I mean, I could write about my family in a chapter. And that opened up the door to me finishing this book here. And it's been just a great journey, because not only did I write the book, I did a video that goes with it. So it's a cartoon along with a song. A Spanish version's coming out, and it is a 5-book series because I do have more than one child. And the second book is going to be Brady and Lucky, the One-Eyed Cats. So the intent of this was to tap into something that I've always had in the back of my head. It's something that, oh, it'd be nice to do. It may not be what I do daily, may not be in my profession, but creativity has always been in my blood. So it's one of those things where I figured, you know what, why not tap into it? Because why not learn a new skill and develop it? And so I held myself accountable to it, and I finished it, and now I'm working on the second one.
You know, Felipe, you know, this is such a great story, because it started, sometimes the ideas we get need to grow, and we need to learn things and be ready to give this offering. So what I especially love about your story is that, and you've told me before that, actually, I think we had you on this show, yeah, we did one time about the book, right? But you didn't stop thinking about it over this 20, or nor did you stop working on it. You did little sketches,
Yep.
right? And so, you know, that is one of the examples of the fact that we can set a goal for a certain date, but honestly, it's one of the 7 universal laws that determines when it will actually happen. And the universe and God wants us to enjoy it. And I think, you know, if we tried 25 years ago to put this together, it might not be, we weren't ready.
No.
And it's nowhere near as good, right, as it is now. So the lesson for me is that you set a goal by a date, but you don't give up if you haven't hit it on the day. It could be that you still have some learning to do. Yeah,
Absolutely. You know, and I think that's an important lesson for people to remember, because, you know, I could have spent years doing this back 20 years ago, and it would have taken me years. Now I have the benefits of technology, AI, to help me do things a little bit quicker. But it's one of those things where when it's in your mind and you're thinking about it, if it always comes back to you, that's something that you need to write down. Write down, even if it's for a year in the future, a month in the future, 10 years in the future, write it down, because if you're thinking about it that much, there's something in you that wants you to take it out and bring it to life. It might be have someone else bring it to life for you, or you yourself doing it. But I think when you have those thoughts in your head, sitting down and thinking about it is wasted time.
well,
Well, I
yes,
shouldn't say wasted time. Worrying about it is wasting time. Thinking about it is ruminating, really planning. But then worrying about, oh, well, can I do it? Should I do it? Do I want to do it? Stop saying shoulda, woulda, coulda. Just do it. And if it's not your cup of tea, then at least you know. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
That's right. That's right. And you know, I would suggest that the universe and or God is within us, always in our conscious mind. And so that is the whisper of intuition, as opposed to the fear, like, oh, I can't do it, I'm not smart enough, I've never done it before, which is very strong because we have failed. But to your point, Felipe, if it continues to come back, that's compelling. That is a message from God. God is not up there. He is everywhere, including in us. And when you go to bed at night with a question or something that's been really bothering you, when fears come up, it could be about money or public speaking, whatever it is, right? Relationships. When you wake up in the morning with a clear answer, it's because it's the only time God's whisper can be heard over the cacophony of those fears. So they're sleeping. Right. And God says, hey, Felipe, here's the answer to this. And you wake up and go, oh, I don't know why I didn't think about that yesterday. So what if that is true? So that really we are part of the universe. And if God is within us, because we are told that he is created in our image, but I've always thought of God as somewhere out there, like up there looking over, kind of protecting, but I never thought of it about being within me. And yet we have this very strong intuitive voice that you're talking about that kept this alive for 25 years. Right? While you're getting married, you're having well, no, you've had children, and then you're right. Anyway, okay, so let's move on, because I thank you for sharing that, and I'm excited. When is the Spanish version coming out? Do we know?
If I can get it out this week, I'm going to get it out this week, because we're having a problem with the QR code, and it's definitely something that we need to get out. But you know, and one thing I do want to mention real quick, you know, I don't want to get too religious here, but you know, things happen for a reason. Opportunities arise for us. Sometimes we have to look for them. You know, there's that old story about the man who was a capsized boat, was out in the ocean drowning. A boat came by and he said, "Nope, God will save me." Another boat came by. "Nope, God will save me." Another boat came by. "Nope, God will save me." And then he drowned and went to heaven. And he's like, "God, why didn't you save me?" He's like, "I did try. I sent you 3 attempts and you didn't listen." So the point is that sometimes things are put in front of us and we say, "Oh, that'd be cool if I could do that." Stop saying could and say, "Oh, that'd be cool if I tried that." Try it. So let's move on. I know we were talking about this a lot.
I love it. It's okay. It's okay, because when I talk about God and the universe, look, if anybody is triggered by it, here's all there is to do. Just transfer it to the word that works for you.
Yep.
And remember, this is only to try on, right? This doesn't mean that the way you do things is inaccurate. It isn't inaccurate. But remember that learning is the miracle grow. All right, tell us about this. This was the coolest picture. What's going on here?
So this was an in-person get-together with my Social Saturday chat crew. In the blue shirt is Mac Laubscher, and he is the brother from another mother. He and I have so many similar interests that we never would have discovered if we hadn't talked. Next to him is 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he's another part of the Social Saturday chats. And then Bill over here he lives up here by me in Maryland. He's up in near Havre de Grace, Maryland, and that's his wife. Havre de Grace is where my daughter's getting married, and I told him that we're getting married. She's getting married in his town, and he joined Mac 𝗠𝗏𝗏𝗏 and I for lunch, and we had just a wonderful lunch, and it was great to meet his wife. And it really was amazing, because the people that you get to know, they really are just who they are, and when you meet them in real life, it's like we are just picked up right where we left off, and we've been friends forever. So it is something that if you get a chance to meet in real life, do it. Mac was a trooper. Him and Joel were in New York. And he goes, "Oh, I can drive up to Maryland." He thought it was like a 2-hour drive. It was like a 4.5-hour drive. So, but it was great. It was great and a wonderful experience, and we can't wait to do it again.
Thank you for sharing that. See, Felipe is just a regular guy, right? And this is only a part of him. But again, these are the kinds of things that distinguish our knowledge of the people that we're working with online. And so I wanted you to get to know that. And this is not the only person you met, because I know that you met Damien and
Melissa Cohen, and there's been Ari Medrano, Richard Lopez. Yeah, it's amazing. Anytime anyone comes in DC, if they say they're available, I will do everything in my power to meet with them.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Today's topic is accountability as the game changer. All right. So not to shock you all, but here's one of Felipe's 5. Oh, I see. I missed the bullet point. Okay. So these are the 5 topics. And let me I'm just going to set this up about accountability. Over the last 20 years, you all know that I've run a program that has yielded 12-week programs, 500 results in goals that were set. A big part of the program is accountability. There are actually 8 different modules. And what I can tell you is there are so many benefits to holding yourself accountable as a leader, but also in having someone else to walk along with you, and you both test or check in with each other, because sometimes we lose our way. We're by ourselves and something's happening, right? And we don't want to lose the momentum. It's no big deal if something didn't work, but it's wonderful to have another person. So I'm going to turn it over to Felipe to begin, and he's going to go through several of them, and I may ask a question or not. I just love listening to you talk. So take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you, Leslie. So accountability, I train a lot of this in the workplace, and I always start off by saying accountability is not a 4-letter word, okay? Accountability is something that can help you as an individual, help you as a team, or help your organization. So in true fashion, I did Felipe's 5. Just as a reminder, Felipe's 5 are not the 5 best things you must do. It's the 5 things I think are important right now, the most relevant maybe, or the ones that have worked the best for me. So that's what I'm sharing with you. The first one is, I think, the gimme. Document commitments. Melissa Houston talks about document and act all the time, but document your commitments, because if it's not written down, it's kind of optional. And it sticks in your brain. When you see your own writing, you're more likely to do it. I got my weekly commitments written down right now. I got 1 done so far. That's it. I gotta tell you, if you're like me, crossing things off that list feels so good. But again, writing it down is accountability, and you've got to write it down, because again, it is optional if you don't, and you're less likely to achieve it, or it will take longer.
Felipe, do you remember the Franklin Covey planner?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that.
So isn't what we're talking about in a way? I mean, I used to use those. I had volumes of them, but for some reason I stopped. And do you think that that's part of the problem, and that's why we need to write these down?
I think our digital transformation, going from paper to digital, had a lot. People had the battle. No, I'm paper. No, I'm digital. There's something about it when I write it on digital, my screen can go black. Yeah. This paper on my desk is always there. I'm always seeing the list. It's always visible when I look at my desk. I kind of like that, because if I have to search for it on my phone, it's not going to pop up in my mind as much. So there are some benefits to that. Do I track it on my phone? Yes, the tracking I do on my phone, because that's something I'm going to go and update regularly. But the things I need to see in my face daily, I want on paper. So, all right, number 2, set an accountability partner. Don't rely on willpower alone. Doesn't mean, you need willpower. Don't get me wrong. Willpower is a huge thing that you have to be able to accomplish things on your own, because nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it yourself. However, an accountability partner is somebody who doesn't give you the fluff. They're not always, oh, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. That's not an accountability partner. That's a cheerleader. What you need is someone that is going to sit and tell you the honest truth. Hey, did you get this done at 2 o'clock like you said you're going to get it done? No. Well, then what are you waiting for? Let's go out for lunch after you get it done. A good accountability partner is going to do that for you. A good accountability partner is going to ask you, hey, so can I see what you wrote yesterday? You said you were going to write that 1 page. Or, hey, you said you're going to submit 5 resumes. Who did you apply to? It's not trying to be a jerk. It's just saying, hey, I'm asking you what you told me you're going to do. I'm going to regurgitate it back to you and ask you where you are on it. Melissa Houston, great accountability partner. Oh my gosh. If you want a model of someone who's going to be brutally honest in a kind way, that's what you need. I need that sometimes. I call her and say, okay, look at this. Tell me. She's like, no, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You need to change this, change that. Boom. I like that.
So let me ask you something. So you're speaking of this as one way. What about the idea that there are 2 accountability partners and you each hold one another responsible in that same way?
That's ideal. That's ideal. If you have 2, if the other person needs an accountability partner, I think that's the best pair up, because you both understand the value and the importance, and it's not one person draining the other person constantly. Now, I will say on the flip side, I actually do have 2 accountability partners, Melissa Houston and my wife. I told my wife, I go, here's my plan for today. Hold me accountable and ask me about it. And she's doing that for me. So those are the things that I think help, but there's no shame in asking for help. So please make sure that you look at that. Number 3.
Yes.
Establish clear boundaries, okay, to protect what you commit to. And let me stress this. The boundaries that we violate the most are our own. Don't blame everybody else for violating your boundaries, because you probably violate them more than anybody else. I say I'm going to do this at 2 o'clock today, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, let me eat lunch and I'll do it at 3 o'clock. I just violated my own boundary. All right. But also let people know. If I tell my family, hey, I'm going to be working on resumes for the next hour, please don't interrupt me. Please take care of the dog.
Yeah.
If I don't tell them that, they don't know. So all of a sudden they're talking loud, the dog's coming in, and I'm mad at them. No, I didn't tell them that was my boundary. So you got to establish clear boundaries, write them down if you have to. It'll only help documenting them, but focus on holding yourself to those boundaries and say, okay, whether it's today or tomorrow. Now, I'm a big fan of the Nike slogan, just do it. Yeah. Every time I get into that quandary of procrastination, I just go, you know what? Nope, I'm just going to do it. And I'll go as far as I can, and then I'll stop. But you have to commit and you have to own it. And that's accountability that you have full control over.
Yes, yes. And you brought up a really good point when you said, let them know what the boundaries are. That is delivering the communication. How many times do we assume that someone knows something, and so we call it an undelivered communication or expectation? This is what you want, but you didn't tell anybody, right? And then you can be annoyed because they didn't know, but really you were accountable and you were responsible. With the boundary comes the communication. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's why the number one training that I do through Cofiño Consulting that I get requested for more than anything else is communications training. People don't realize that everyone has different styles of communication, and how you deliver your message. If you don't know your audience and you're not knowing how to effectively communicate, your message is not going to get through. If somebody is somebody who needs to see communication in writing, email those boundaries to them saying, hey, I just want to put this in, share this with you. I'm happy to talk to you about any questions you have. Other people are like, you say it to them and they got it. But you have to understand that sometimes communicating one way isn't the only thing. You might have to communicate it multiple ways so that your audience hears it, because not everyone's the same. And that's what's one of those things that's important is when I do this training, when you discover the unique things that you prefer in communication and the unique things that others prefer, you start realizing, oh, that's why we have conflict. I could avoid that if I just did this differently. And it, from an outside point of view, it's like seems so obvious, but when you're in the midst of it, like anybody else, it's hard to see. So having someone from the outside come in and train always helps. So that's why I always think it's important to communicate effectively.
No, I love it. I love it. Now, I'd like to take a short break here, if you don't mind, and I'll put you back in the studio for just a minute. Okay. He's coming right back, everybody. Don't worry. Okay. And let me see if I can make this, if I can do this the way I want to do it. Yes, I want to do it like this. All right. Special thank you to Power Thinking Corp with their new app. Oops, sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened here. Oh, I do know what happened. Just give me 1 second. Doggone it. Okay, hang on. I know what happened. We're going to start that again. I think I can, yes. Okay. Power Thinking Corporation, Stanley Green, President and CEO, they've come out with a wonderful new app for your phone, which has everything you need in Power Thinking Corp, chat, notifications, videos, all in one place that goes along with you. And we have a special offer for you from Power Thinking Corp. And that is to download it from your favorite app store for 30 days at no charge. Test it out. This is an amazing app. And because it's new, thank you, Stanley, for sponsoring the show and for offering everyone the opportunity to get inside this app. And I will tell you, it's new enough now that he actually will have changes made to improve it. So you actually get to give feedback with a new app, which is very cool, I think. So that is our wonderful sponsor for this show. Thank you for being here. Okay, bringing back Felipe. All right, what did I do? Here we go. There we go. All right, number 4.
Track progress, not just outcomes. Now, this is one that it's easy to track the outcomes. Oh, I submitted 5 resumes today and I heard back from them. That's great. What about the ones that you didn't hear back from? Are you tracking? You got to track everything for multiple reasons. One, be honest with yourself. Don't put the rose-colored glasses on and think everything's going great when, you know what, it's going. It may not be going great yet. So don't overcompensate. But you want to make sure that you track it for other reasons too. Track it so you know where you're applying to. Track so you know who's gotten back to you and who hasn't. Because the ones that haven't, you might still have a chance to get back to them because maybe they just have too many candidates. But most importantly, the biggest thing that really just irks the hell out of me as a recruiter is when I call somebody and say, hey, I'm calling you about this application you submitted for this job. Oh, what did I apply again?
Oh, geez.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, I just told you the name of the company and you don't remember? Okay, well, it's ABC Company. And what's the position I applied for again? Oh my, it just tells me you were not serious. You did not even read the job description or read about the company. You were just applying blindly. And that's a negative. So tracking your progress, not just your outcomes, keeps you on top of your stuff. You know what you're doing. And when someone questions you, you can respond intelligently. Okay?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something here. I just thought of something. So, when you have an accountability call, right, I used to use a set of questions, and I actually kept those questions in emails because I found that a lot of problems were solved some time ago. Like we would already work through it. We had already found the answer, but we kind of forgot that we did that. I don't know. Do you think that would be of benefit, Felipe? Or is it just too much?
No, I think there's some benefits to that as well. It's really the mindset that you're in and what works best for you. I will say, though, is that sometimes we feel like it's overwhelming. And when you feel like it's overwhelming, break it down to smaller milestones. Say, okay, let me track the ones that got back to me. And once you create a nice spreadsheet that tracks that, okay, let me add now the ones that didn't get back to me. You don't have to do it all at once. You can just do little snippets at a time. And then once you have that master spreadsheet, you just need to keep it updated as you apply, and it'll be much easier. But the work going into it sometimes seems overwhelming. So break it down into little mini projects and then ask yourself and update it. What did I do this week? What did I move forward? What didn't work and why? That's the thing. Why didn't this work? Why? Because my resume wasn't customized to this industry. Or why? Because I missed an appointment because I didn't put it on my calendar. So you're going to start seeing patterns of things that you need to correct instead of keeping on making the same mistake over and over again.
Oh, all right. That's awesome. Okay. Numero 5.
Cinco, last one. Own it publicly. Progress, misses, and adjustments. A lot of times we are so good about sharing all the positive things. Oh, I got an interview. I submitted 5 resumes. Own it publicly. Be real and honest with yourself, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to move forward in reality, is by saying, I didn't get the interview. I didn't hear back from 5, but I heard back from 2. It's not shame. It's just being honest. I'm not saying publicly announce it on LinkedIn or Instagram. I'm saying be honest with your family, your coworkers, your friends that are helping you, your accountability partner. And when you own it publicly, it creates credibility. It's one of those things where when you do that, you start thinking about what's next versus why me. And that's so important, is when we don't own it publicly, we internalize it, we hold on to it, we let it fester, we start thinking about that hamster wheel and get trapped in it. Why? Stop. Focus on what's next. What did you learn from the misses and correct? And that sense of accomplishment is what accountability can give you. And when you have that sense of accomplishment, it builds confidence, it builds credibility, and you are really, reputation is just improved on. And at the end of the day, you're going to be able to have a system that works for you that you can replicate when you need it in the future.
Yes. And the insight that I'm getting here is that by being accountable this way, that's actually a big step toward vulnerability, letting people see that, oh, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. Yeah? Do you think that's a good insight?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you, these are the things that I do for myself. I'm practicing these things as we speak. I've been very transparent. My job is going to be eliminated at the end of February. I'm currently looking for a job. So I'm holding myself accountable. The first week, was I doing this? No, I'll be honest. I was in my own head. I was in my feelings. I wasn't. But now I'm in this mindset. And this is where people need to understand accountability is not a four-letter word. It's going to help you. If you don't mind, I wanted to just recap some real good takeaways.
Please.
So for each of the 5, the first one, the message is documentation turns good intentions into visible agreements with yourself and others.
Good.
So I want you to think about that. For number 2, accountability partners create pause points where excuses get challenged and progress gets measured. And I like that, excuses get challenged, because I'm the king of making good excuses. And then for boundaries, they're not barriers, they're guardrails that keep commitments intact. They're just helping you stay focused and move forward. And then tracking, accountability is a habit, not a deadline. Once you get into that habit of doing it, it'll become a natural thing that you do and you won't even have to think about it. And then the last thing is accountability is not about perfection, it's about ownership. Own what you do, be honest with yourself. And that's, at the end of the day, let accountability be your friend, because it's going to help you in more ways than one, professionally, personally, and mentally.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this was beautiful, Felipe. I hope you'll come back with another Felipe's 5 and we get into some other subject. Now, I do want you to talk a little bit about this, and forgive me, this was awesome. And also, I got a lot out of it too, and I hope everybody did, because you'll hear a lot of things about accountability. Pick and choose the things that feel right to you. You don't have to take them all on. In fact, I'd take one. Honestly, I would start with one of these, whichever one you want, and practice it. I mean, make it, put up a sticky note and make that the thing you're going to do every day, that you're going to, what are my clear boundaries? Okay, I'm going to lunch at 12. My thing is about setting boundaries is that we do what we say we're going to do unless it's an emergency that only we can handle. Right?
Well said.
Commit yourself to whatever you say you're going to do, but only don't do it if you're the one that has to be there because of an emergency. And then if that happens, then you've got to complete it, right? You've got to go back and remake the promise or the commitment. Yeah, this was great, Felipe. I hope everybody really enjoyed this. Now, look, tell us about your 2 shows. And I forgot about the Social Saturday Chat, which is audio with a whole bunch of people. But tell us about your shows, where people can catch up with you and see what you're up to.
Sure. So the Workplace Wellness Hour, the first one is with 𝗠𝗁𝗁𝗍𝗍 and 𝗏𝗡𝗄𝗏, and we do that every other Monday at 8 p.m. So next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we talk about workplace wellness topics, everything from trends that are happening from quiet quitting to the great lock-in to the great career reset. So we really try to stay on relevant topics. And then every other Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I have a show, Careers, Chaos, and Coaching with Melissa Houston, where we really talk about careers, coaching advice, helping people really just navigate through some of the turmoil. And then Social Saturday Chat is every Saturday at 12 noon, where it's a chance to network, meet fascinating people, and really just introduce yourself to others so that you can get yourself out there, become more visible, and practice networking and meeting fascinating new people. If you want to check out some of the past episodes that we've done over the last 3 and 4 years, go to my YouTube channel. It's just Felipe Cofiño. Love for you to subscribe, and you can check out all the past podcasts and episodes and some of Felipe's 5. And there are a few cooking videos in there that if you want a good laugh, you can check those out. And also, I do have a founder of Cofiño Consulting. So if you do need any services for HR, auditing, compliance, training, recruitment, and branding, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to assist.
Well, I love it. And so, Felipe, tell us what final words would you leave this beautiful audience with about accountability and the approach as an overview to managing yourself, ourselves, and being great leaders, please?
Accountability, when done right, can earn you the respect to be a great leader. It can help you become confident and it can help battle mental illness, especially if you're struggling. Accountability helps you move forward and it helps you make progress. And whether it's your personal life or your professional life, that's a good thing, making progress. Leaders who use accountability as a form of respect and communicate what they expect ahead of time, those are the ones that know how to do accountability properly. It's the ones that get emotional about accountability that ends up going down a rabbit hole that you don't want to go down. So use accountability in a good way, communicate it in advance, and share the benefits of the accountability, because no one wants to be the only one being held accountable and everybody else around you gets to play and not work as hard. That ends up creating a negative culture. So for leaders and yourself, accountability will help.
Felipe, thank you so much for spending the time with us and with all your friends. I encourage everybody to go back and listen to these again, jot them down, pick one of those 5 that it doesn't have to be the hardest one, right, Felipe? It could be the one that you're more inclined to already be doing, like you're right, as long as you get started. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to move you back.
Thank you, Leslie.
Studio.
Bye,
Appreciate
everyone.
you. Bye, everybody. All right. Bye, Felipe. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed this show. I love it. I thought this was wonderful. Connect with everyone that's here. Thank you for being here. If I missed anybody to acknowledge, it was, of course, unintentional. And we'll say goodbye from this Monday, the last Monday in January 2026, with that beautiful trailer created by Soul Media Live Productions and Mr. Aaron Gibson. Everyone have a beautiful, beautiful week.